presence here today. We have a different message from our opponents today. Outside is a message of hate and prejudice. We have real families here today, real families in real pain because New Jersey does not allow same-sex couples to marry. Our theme here today is very specifically about the failure of the civil union law and the impact that the deprivation of marriage equality has on children of same-sex couples.
Growing up, I actually always thought my parents were married when I was younger. I didn't know because, like all my friends, I had two loving parents, and their parents were all married, so I kind of assumed mine were. But as I got older, kids started to ask questions, you know, two women can't be married, and your parents can't be married. And so I went home and I asked my parents, and they told me, no, actually, honey, we're not married, we can't be married. And that was the most hurt and confusion and shock I had ever felt in my short life. And here at 19, I'm still hurt and confused and shocked that my parents can't be married.
We are absolutely here to counter our opponents protesting on the steps of the Statehouse. Make no bones about it. The timing is not coincidental. However, our message is one of love, families, and inclusion in the institution of marriage, while our opponent's message is one of hate, exclusion, and prejudice.
And during the debate over same-sex marriage, a lot of people were
with that. The government is already treating relationships very differently in a lot of ways. And in particular, for most income classes, for most people who are married with children, or who are of the age of having children, if they get married, most of them face a marriage tax penalty, not a benefit. The government is already favoring some kinds of relationships. Namely, they're favoring single parenthood. The government is already steering people towards out-of-wedlock childbearing and away from married childbearing. Government's been doing that for 45 years. Quite deliberately. All of our income support programs have these features, right, where it's based on the individual income, not the couple's income. And so if you get married, you get less of the public benefit. That was built into Obama's health care plan. I don't know how many of you knew that in Obama's health care plan, most people who are of childbearing age, if they get married, they get less health care. So the government is not neutral right now. And it's operating to push people into or away from marriage through health care, through schooling, through housing, through income support programs. They're already not neutral in this area.
No one should be bullied. No one should be intimidated. No one should be harassed.
We don't want
what I know is that we saw some of our kids that are here today that were at the rally in Providence. We saw same-sex marriage supporters calling them little bigots and attacking them. Now, am I saying that's true of the whole movement? No. Stephen Goldstein, I know, and so far there have been no incidents here, and I know he's called on his supporters not to not have any confrontations. I respect that. We can disagree civilly. This is America. This is an emotional question. There are people on both sides of the debate. Let's debate it. Let's argue about it. But let's not try and shout each other down. You know, about a year before there was supposed to be a vote in the Senate, we were told the same thing. We were told, why are you talking about same-sex marriage? It's not going to come up. And it did come up, and we defeated it. And the fact is, right now, you have a lawsuit in your Supreme Court, which is attempting to force same-sex marriage on the state, even though the legislature has already said no. So the fact is, we need to organize and rally regular folks who are out there doing their jobs, doing what they do every day, and people really don't focus on this that much. But making clear that there's a court threat, I think, is important, and it will encourage people to be active and energized, and also to vote the right way in elections. Not creating the categories. The categories already exist. They're called male and female. Those categories exist in nature, and that's the fundamental basis of marriage. Men and women are complementary, and only by a man and woman coming together can you have a child. So those categories already exist, and that's why attempting to make the argument that they're making that this is the same as race is fundamentally wrong. And the African American community knows that, and that's why they overwhelmingly oppose same-sex marriage.